In front of me are just a small collection of Lenovo laptops that I've used in my professional career. Everything from the P17 with a Xeon processor and 64 gigabytes of RAM, or the workhorse, the Yoga X1 Gen 8. I've also used a series of Legion-based laptops for gaming as well. Here we've got a Legion 7 from a couple of years ago, and of course now the Legion 5 Slim 14-inch, which I use as my daily driver. So why am I telling you this? Well, I guess I'm trying to say that I know my way around a Lenovo laptop. I've built hundreds of the things in my professional career. But the focus of today's video isn't going to be on the ThinkPad line. We're focused more on the Legions. Now, if you haven't already checked out my videos on both the Legion Slim 7i and the Legion Slim 5 14-inch, it's probably a good time to check it out. This is an update in relation to both of those laptops. So let's first of all talk about the Legion Slim 7 and why I inevitably ended up returning it. The primary reason for that was the stuttering problem, and I was never able to resolve it in the couple of weeks that I owned it. Now, Lenovo in Australia were kind enough to be able to help me troubleshoot, and they were unable to resolve the problem and suggested that a return would probably be best, which is what inevitably led me to purchasing the laptop in front of me now, the Legion Slim 5. I do want to quickly run through some of the things that I tried to do to resolve my problem in the couple of weeks that I owned it that I wasn't able to cover in the video. I made an attempt to install stock Windows. This is not the version that Lenovo provides via their website or the version of Windows that comes shipped with the device. It's just outright stock Windows. And I did run into some issues when setting that up, namely around the fact that I wasn't able to connect to any networks, or at least any Wi-Fi networks. One way of getting around that was that I ended up tethering my phone via USB directly to the laptop so that I was able to eventually make my way through the Windows 11 installer. Next up, I tried to use the recommended NVIDIA drivers from Lenovo's website. So this is not the latest version that comes with GeForce Experience. And there was some improvement there, but not enough to say that the stutters had gone away completely. I then went back and built the laptop again, this time using the Lenovo image of Windows 11 from their website. This takes a really long time to download and even longer to set back up, but it puts it back the way it was out of the factory, the way that Lenovo intended it. And again, my issues still persisted. I made an attempt to disable as many of the overlays as possible, both the NVIDIA and the Xbox overlay that appears. These sometimes cause problems. Now, obviously in my video, I had to use those to be able to demonstrate metrics like FPS and so on. But outside of me recording, the issue still persisted. I know that there are a lot of settings that you can adjust on the laptop to be able to get it to run optimally. DGPU only, setting it to performance mode. But the reality is that these laptops shouldn't have to run in these modes to make the games run well. Yes, you'll take a hit to your FPS, but that's really it. You shouldn't be looking at any more than that. I know also that many of you question that running games at a 3.5K resolution is obviously going to put the system under a lot of stress. But again, these problems still persisted even when running at 1080p. Now, I know that I'm an outlier in this. I know a lot of you purchased the Legion Slim 7i and never had any problems, and I think that that is the case for most people. But these were the problems that I had at the time of recording. It could have been software, but I made all of the necessary changes that I could think of to be able to get it to run. My only conclusion is that it was either bad timing for maybe some NVIDIA drivers that were out. Again, I did try older drivers and I even did try beta drivers. What I really suspect though is that it just ended up being a hardware problem, and no matter how much tweaking or tinkering that I did with this laptop, it had to go back. If I got a replacement, it probably would have been fine, but I clearly opted not to get a replacement for the Legion Slim 7i. There is one thing that I want to dispel though, one thing that keeps coming up all the time, and that's that you need to run these laptops in performance and DGPU mode to get the best experience. While that part is true, those are the two best settings that you can have, you still are able to run these laptops in quiet, balanced, or performance mode, in hybrid or DGPU, without having any stutters. And I know this because of my experience with Legion laptops. The Legion Y740 never had this problem when switching between fan profiles. The Legion Slim 5 in front of me right now doesn't have these problems. Yes, the laptop gets hotter, yes, the performance will be impacted over time, and yes, my FPS will drop, but the game still remains smooth. It does not stutter. Now, if you're asking me today, should I buy this laptop? The answer is yes, you absolutely should. In Australia, there is a great warranty, and for that reason, if you do run into any problems, you therefore should be able to get it repaired or returned. But also, I don't think that you're going to run into this problem. Now, the Legion Slim 7 is not the only laptop to have this issue. There are a wide range of reports over many, many years of laptops that are experiencing stuttering issues, whether or not it's a Legion Slim 7 laptop on Intel or AMD, or even an older Legion Slim 5. Now, as for the Legion Slim 5 in front of me right now, nothing has really changed. This is the model that has the 4060 in it, and it has a 2.8K OLED screen. I still love it. I still use it every day. I use it for games and I use it for editing videos. And the absence of USB 4 and G-Sync has not been a problem for me. V-Sync is working perfectly fine and USB 3 is plenty fast enough. Now, there are two problems that have come up since my Legion Slim 5 video came out. One is in relation to HDR, and I think that this is more of a Windows 11 issue than it is a Lenovo Legion issue. See, HDR and Auto HDR doesn't seem to work all that well in hybrid mode. There seems to be a problem there with the way that the colors are displayed. It kind of looks washed out or, well, yellowy, I guess. This problem goes away when you go into Lenovo Vantage and change over to the D GPU. All of a sudden, HDR works as it's intended. Again, I really feel like this is more of a problem with Windows 11 and the way that Windows PCs handle HDR. A second bigger problem I've had is in relation to the fans switching off during sleep mode. Now, that probably makes sense to you, right? The laptop is asleep, therefore it doesn't need to cool down. What seems to happen though is that every now and then when I return to my laptop after it's been asleep, it's incredibly hot to the touch, to the point where you can't use it at all, you can't touch it. And you need to be able to flip open the lid and be able to turn the thing on so that the fans will kick in again. I suspect that the reason that this is happening is because the USB ports at the back of the laptop are remaining on. This is a setting in Lenovo Vantage so that you can charge devices when the laptop is still asleep. Something is going on where there's a massive power draw occurring and it's causing the laptop to overheat. This is regardless of whether or not anything is connected to that USB port. The way that I've gotten around this is by turning the USB charging off and also setting it so that the laptop goes into hibernate rather than sleep. The problem hasn't occurred since. Now, this has happened to me maybe about 4 or 5 times in total, but the laptop continues to function as expected. When I do finally flip the lid open and get the thing turned on without searing my fingers, fans kick in, on overdrive mind you, and the whole laptop cools down. But I fully suspect that over time this will impact the longevity of the laptop if it doesn't get resolved in something like a firmware update. The other thing is that while the OLED screen is stunning, it's also highly reflective, so you do need to be careful where you use it because you may not be able to see the screen. So that wraps up this video. I hope you found this update useful. Please ask any questions in the comments. If I can't answer them, the community will. Everybody has been really, really amazing in the comments to try and help solve these problems and share their own individual experiences. All of this helps us make informed choices as to whether or not we should or shouldn't be purchasing laptops. But at the end of the day, only you can make that decision for yourself. Anyway, that's it. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.